She's friendless and lost her father? That is so tragically sad. You know what? I'll be her first friend. I'll write her letters every single day and make sure she's not friendless during this tough time. I just hope she never finds out the truth. And even if she does, it's not like I'll fall in love with her through this. Right? Everybody shut up! And action! Let's talk about a Korean drama called Startup. So the entire premise of the show is that there's this girl who wants to be an entrepreneur just like her father, but along the way gets caught up in a love triangle with her colleagues and mentors who just so happen to be the people who are faking to be her first love and her first love. And getting caught up into this entire drama while revolving around the startup cannot be good for the sake of the startup, and the entire show is based around that aspect and the relationship of this character. And this show was honestly really, really interesting. It's really hooking you. It hooks you in at the start and then kind of planes out and then gets really interesting again at the end, just like most shows do. So this show was actually pretty decent and interesting to watch. It's full of emotionally engaging characters, from the leads to the side characters to everyone involved. It really gets you hooked into each character, the side stories, and how they all interact in the are related to the main characters. It makes for a really interesting movie. It's an interesting show. It's a really fun watch, and it really does hook you in the romance aspect, going like, yes, please, yes, get together. No, don't go after him. Why? It's the typical love triangle drama in a work setting for a company that's just starting up. And honestly, you really do fall in love with every single character. You have moments where you hate some characters, other moments where you love some characters, but in the end, it all gets a satisfying conclusion where you end up liking every single character. The one thing I really love about this show is that everything seems to connect. I mean, like, there's stuff that happens at the beginning that you forget about and reappears at the end as another major theme in a relationship, and it's just really cute to watch that. You see reoccurring themes occurring throughout the entire story. All these sort of things that seem interconnected and really reconnect the show, looping from beginning to end. It honestly makes a really cute drama from that perspective. Though, it can also get a little too much. I mean, every single detail revolving around these characters seems to be coincidentally around these characters' lives, and it's like, you are the main characters, but does every tiny detail have to be a damn coincidence? Maybe some things could not be a coincidence, you know? I mean, there are some that aren't, but like, there are way too many coincidences which are like, yeah, maybe not everything should be a coincidence. That's just a little too much on luck in life, but I guess that's the entire aspect of fate. I mean, all the characters were amazing in this movie, especially the actors with their acting performances. They all killed their roles so well. They emotionally hook you from every aspect. When they cry, you cry. When they're angry, you're angry. When they're in love, you're like, oh yes, please get in that relationship, except when it comes to the love triangle. Because when that happens, you're like, yeah, I want you two to be in a relationship. And then later it's like, no, I want these to be in a relationship. And it just gets you hooked into that entire drama aspect, where it's like, I don't know who I want you to end up with. This isn't gonna hurt me either way. Honestly, that's the entire beauty of romance shows. They really hook you in and get you in love with all the characters. Though at the same time, in this entire romance aspect, it's like, why are you even in love with this character? Your entire love, like, you're trying to act as though you're in love with this character, but you don't even seem like you're in love at all. You're just in love for another person's sake. Like, you have 3 years to get with her. You have 10 years to get with her. Yet you don't do anything until there's someone else in the way. It's like you're just trying to be an obstacle for the other dude, yet at the same time, you don't really care. So you're just confused about the entire love triangle aspect to begin with. But at the same time, more than the love, you're more interested in a bromance. You want to see these two people who are involved in the love triangle be more friends, best bros, brothers from another mother. You want to see them become best friends, or not even best friends. They just have a mentor-student relationship, but a really good one, not with any tension. And that's what you want to see more than a relationship. Yeah, at the same time, when you do root for the relationship, you're rooting for the guy who doesn't even seem he's in love. So I don't even know. It just has you hooked into a really interesting story plot show with a lot going on. There are some side plots which, as a beginning, feel like they're not going to amount to anything, and it's just there to add some sort of drama. Yeah, at the end, when you think about it, it adds so much side character perspective and growth for some side characters, and it makes like, oh, it's also growth for this character who's a lead, and it just makes for interesting perspectives on the show. And honestly, that one, like, it still does feel like something that was serious and should have been more heavy involved into the show, yet it was way too light. But in the end, you don't. It doesn't really concern you too much. It still made for an interesting side plot. In the end, everything truly is a satisfying conclusion, and really, man, throughout the show, you're kind of hooked. I mean, at the beginning, it's kind of easy to fall off the show because it's a little slow paced. But if you stick through it, it actually makes for a really captivating show that emotionally engages you and is a really fun, interesting watch. Like, I was watching this in the subway while going to and from school. Made for a really, really captivating sort of watch. I was hooked onto my screen the entire time. Though it wasn't the type of show where you're so hooked that like when you get home you want to continue watching. You can take breaks. It's not like I can't rip my eyes away from the damn screen. It's a heavily character-driven shows where you're hooked into the characters and their journeys in this romance drama, and that's the entire point of romance dramas. I guess romance K-dramas, it's always supposed to be character focused, but it's also paired with a really interesting story here. So if you give it a shot and push through it and push through the beginning, you'll be blessed with a really nice romantically inclined show. It's a pretty good watch with amazing cinematography, good videography, really hooks you in with all the shots. It really enhances all the scenes, making it beautiful. The technical aspects were honestly amazing. Everything about it was beautiful from that aspect for sure. It's mildly immersive. It's kind of rewatchable actually, with some aspects of the show being like, yeah, I really want to rewatch that, please and thank you. But yeah, for the most part the show isn't rewatchable, but aspects of it are. It's mildly immersive. It makes for a pretty good and fun romance show to watch. So if romance is your thing, this is definitely one you should check out, whether or not you like international shows or not. I give it an 80%. Be sure to check it out. Peace.